some point they're going to have Kyrie Irving. GA said it, the defense. They're going to have to figure out how to play defense because that team in the Western Conference, the Los Angeles Lakers, we know when they put their mind to it, they're the best defensive team in the league. So the Nets, as great as it was for an opening debut for James Harden, they're going to have to figure out as time go on how to improve that defense.
You know, one key point you said, Sam, as time goes on, and GA, we all expect Kyrie Irving to be back into the mix. And James Harden said something very interesting the other day when he spoke as a member of the Brooklyn Nets for the first time. And he said, oh, yeah, I'm willing to sacrifice. I think he was saying more from a scoring perspective and be a facilitator. I think that's what we saw in the first half. Does that mean taking a little bit too much of a leap, or is that how this works with this group?
No, I think, and we get this conversation, people will always forget, these aren't low IQ basketball players. These guys have tremendously high basketball IQ. They said the same thing about James Harden when Chris Paul went there. Oh, you know, two ball-dominant players that can't play together. They won 65 games, and probably but for a hamstring injury to Chris Paul, they would have made it to the finals that year. You know, they were up 3-2 in that series when he went down. You know, they said the same thing when they had Westbrook come to Houston, and those two were able to coexist. Now, the team wasn't good enough to compete for a championship, but those two were able to make it work. Similarly with these two, and when you add Kyrie into the mix, again, these are all very efficient basketball players. They're all great shooters, and they're all comfortable playing with great players. You know, you've seen it with Kyrie when he was with LeBron. You saw it with Durant when he went to Golden State. And so I think because of their style, Durant is a catch-and-shoot guy. He's not a ball-dominant guy. He can get his like tonight. You don't even notice he had 42. I mean, it was easy for him, and that's how he scores. He doesn't pound the ball a lot. Kyrie can also be a catch-and-shoot guy. And I think if those guys buy into winning, they're still going to have to play well and score, all three of them, because they don't have a lot of other guys that can consistently create their own offense. They're going to be reliant on that trio. So it's just a matter of can they fill out that roster? Can they get enough defense? Can they get enough rebounding and spacing? With Joe Harris, that helps. Those are going to be things we'll find out as the season progresses. And can they stay healthy, both physically and mentally, as we see what's going on with Kyrie Irving right now?
Yeah, Kevin Durant has been playing a lot of minutes for the Brooklyn Nets, coming back from that Achilles injury, and that's something that we should always monitor when a player's coming back from an injury like that. Another team I want to take a look at is a game that's in progress right now that we're going to go to in a few minutes. Memphis Grizzlies and the Philadelphia 76ers. Some interesting things happening with those two teams. So, Sam, when I look at Philadelphia, Joel Embiid out tonight and also out the next game with a knee injury. How concerned should the 76ers be, and how do they adjust when he's out of the lineup? Currently, they're trailing by 5 to the Memphis Grizzlies.
Well, they got to be concerned. Joel Embiid was playing at an MVP level. When you look at how dominating he was in the post, you look at the things he was doing as far as creating double teams, passing out of the double team, defensively, blocking shots, rebounding. He was playing arguably his best basketball under Doc Rivers. So now he goes out, and again, you hoping this is not a lingering problem because he's had problems with injuries in the past. So they signed Dwight Howard as a backup, but they're not the same type of basketball team with Joel Embiid. And in the NBA, without your best player is